Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be going through the Tower of Micromanagement and going through basic strategies, etc. and just how to play through the tower. So this is quite a learny tower, and I think that lots of practice will be needed since it's not really a conventional tower in terms of building. Also, I'd recommend low detail mode for zone 6 because it is really laggy. Also, with low detail mode, you don't need to do this section, you can just jump here and jump across to the teleporter. So yeah, that's basically how to get to micromanagement. And basically, up until floor 5, I'm just going to be going through, basic jumps and stuff for the tower, and then it kind of gets more, complex from there. So, kind of long jump this. T-pose is recommended for this button because it's kind of hard to hit without it, but yeah, you can. Wrap around like this. I'd recommend not, for this wrap, I'd recommend not, trying to turn in with W and D, because then you'll probably just end up, falling. Just hold D and go, the full 180 around. This jump you can either do like this, or you can do it backwards like this, but I find it easier to do it the first way. So, yeah, it's kind of, the angling is kind of hard. You might want to turn out like that a bit, and then walk around the truss. You can either flick off or just hold D to walk off. Flick up like this, and then you can turn in. Make sure you're on the extended bit, and try and climb up like that. And then tap S and W, sorry, tap S and D, so that you're, properly in the thing, and then you can jump out, grab the ladder. For this jump, just hold D, and... Okay, this jump is, really precise. What I like to do is just hold A, and then, at the last minute, switch to W and turn into it like that. But basically, you just hold to get through this truss, shift lock off, jump in like this, jump into the truss, and then kind of walk off so that, you're pushed down onto the truss. And before you get to the bottom, just use T-pose, or, if you don't have T-pose, I guess, flick out a bit so that you don't, get dropped off when you try to jump off the truss. And then here, I like to do this, I like to hit this, this, where I will, go back out of shift lock in midair, and I've just died. Okay. Well, yeah, it's basically, that jump is if I can find it. Okay, yeah, so that jump is, you can either do it like that, or I think how I used to do it is I just I think how I used to do is I just hit it like a normal, jump sort of thing, but you can do it either way. For this jump, hit the button like that and jump on the teleporter. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Jump from around halfway here, jump from the top, and then you can do that like a head hit or walk across. I like to go to the edge of the truss. The best thing that works for me is, oh yeah, teleporters are going to be really annoying for this guide, by the way. Walk to the edge of the truss, kind of press A so that you're on the edge, turn, and that I turned too far there, but if you turn too far, you'll get dropped off when you try to jump. It's basically, this is a good angle, and then you can just jump and shift lock off. This wrap you can do either like this, or I think you can do it this way as well, but I don't really like that way. Either way works, though. Also, probably, it might be a good idea to turn the dance button on. Oh, and I have the dance glitch, so I was dancing not, my dance wasn't fully extending there, which is a bug with the dance button for some reason. And if that happens, I guess I recommend if you're using the dance button, dance at the start of every run so that, yeah, now it works. Okay, so flick across this truss. Oh no. Yeah, so just land on the truss, flick across. I like to flick left until here, and then I start flicking right, so I flick, yeah, I start flicking right around there. You can just jump off like that. I did that wrong. Just flick. You can just jump off like that. And then if you hold W here, you can just jump to the top of the ladder, but if not, just do it like a head hitter like that. And you should be fine. Flick off of this. Okay, so for these trusses, this is just, for going under trusses in general. I like to go on the edge, and then ghost, and then go to, halfway in the middle of the truss, and then kind of flick in like that. And that always works for me. You can use T-pose for that if you need to, but I don't really think it's necessary. Just jump across like this. I guess you could either turn in the middle, which is a bit more precise, but I'd say it's easy to land, or you could try and jump out and turn in like that. Either one works. Probably I'd say dropping in is probably like this. Is probably the easiest way to do it. That's just a long head hitter, so just be careful on that one. Not head hitter, sorry, grab. For this jump, I like to go straight like that, and then angle, and then I can just do that like a head hitter. Just jump from the truss, and then you can climb on the truss and jump off. Make sure you shift lock that, or you'll probably hit your head. And then just long jump up to this. You don't need to go climb up for this one. So, for some reason, since it's spinning, I think if you just tap W, like, it'll eventually just let you up. You don't need to do, like, a climb up or anything. Just tight angling here. And then, yeah, okay, so jump to every other one. It's kind of indicated by the fact that they're different colors, but that's basically the gist of this part. You can either jump or climb down, I guess. If you're not getting up, just flick a bit. And that's all that button is. Make sure you align. Listen to this part. Because otherwise, you are not going to have a good time. Also, mobile, I think you can go down there, which is a teleporter. But yeah, it doesn't need to be exact, but like align like that, and you'll be fine. Okay, this no jump section is a massive spike in my opinion, especially one part. So just make sure you've practiced it. I don't know why I pressed space there. I guess just try and, like... You could either try and, like, replicate what I'm doing, or use what I'm doing to, like, help you find what's easier. But yeah, it's basically just, like, knowing... This is quite a... As I said before, this tower is quite learny. It's, like, you just need to know what you're doing. Oh, I slipped off of that because I did that wrong. Let me get back up. Okay, so yeah, basically you just turn in like that. It's just a normal walk around. I just did it weirdly for some reason. Walk onto this truss and then kind of flick off, or shift lock off. Avoid the ouch breaks, obviously. And you just walk onto this truss, turn in. And then this jump, I see a lot of people struggling on this jump, but I have a strategy that seems to work every time for it. So I basically go to the edge of this stud like here, and then I kind of just hold W and D and walk at the same time. Like, you can look at my keyboard overlay. It's just like, I get to the edge by pressing W and get out like this. And then I kind of just hold W and D, and I always make it. I see a lot of people failing that jump, but it's quite fun. It's fine once you know what to do. Just aim for the middle, and you'll go in. Probably just first person it. Floor 4 is kind of a drop in difficulty, I'd say. I'd say there's much easier parts on floor 4, but there's also 4 outside, which can be quite annoying. I guess, yeah, just... There's not really many specific I mean, this one just did this. Okay, 4 outside. So people fail this jump all the time. I basically go sideways like this until I get to around the edge, and then I start, yeah, and then I turn, and I just tap like D until it, like, puts me on the ladder. So for this conveyor, you can either do it like I do, which is jumping wide like that, or you can jump from the middle, that also works. Or I've also seen, oh god. I've also seen people, I think you can, it's quite hard to do, like, by walking, but you can, like, climb onto it like that. You could also jump and climb onto it, I guess. That's something you can do. And let me not die, please. Yeah, just jump in like that. Walk off here. Yeah, basically just follow the gameplay. A lot of this is just going to be practice. But yeah, that's basically, like, micromanagement, I guess. It's quite learny. You wanna... Okay, I went too far there. But what you can do to make that consistent, if I can get back outside, is you can... Hold on. I need to get back to where that was. Okay. So you can get back here. And then what you do is you can kind of, like, tap W and A to go to the edge of the truss. And then you can either T-pose or hold space like that and then just flick down. Just make sure you're not, like, inside the truss when you're jumping off. Quarter stud. Hit this, and then kind of... You can either jump from here, or You can either jump from there or go from here and do it like a head hitter, but I find the other one more consistent. Just some wall hops. Make sure you can do those because they're quite annoying sometimes. For this jump, I like to just jump like that. You can look at the keyboard overlay to see exactly how I do that, but it's kind of just going out and then back in. This ball, just turn with it, I guess, and then on the third one, I like to just flick off like that. It's quite annoying. 5 has just quite annoying jumps, not really like hard or anything, just like annoying. It's basically just, okay, for this one you can either go in like that, which I probably say is the easiest way, or you can do that. Don't do that, that's not something that you can do. I guess like following like that, it's basically just find a way that you like to do this jump. I find that way much easier than everything else, but yeah. If you get stuck on this half set, just flick a bit and you'll make it. Okay, so 5 outside. This is where most people lose their runs, which is unfortunate because it's just before the net. But basically, I like to jump early here so that I don't get like dropped by the wall or anything. Climb on this ladder and just jump off. The alignment for this is, I believe, if you're standing like directly, if you're like just, I'm not like directly centered on the stud, but I'm like just forward of it. So now if I align, I think I should get it. Yeah. Okay, so don't hold W and D to get off of this. Just hold D and you'll walk off. Drop down with alignment keys, I guess, or you could just walk into it. This is quite a precise jump. There we go. Yeah, just follow the arrow, walk off. You can flick or just hold space. Oh, I accidentally jammed. You can flick or hold space, either one works, whichever one you find easier. Shift lock off like that. You can climb onto that, which I find more consistent. And then you can jump across. And then if you're swinging back and forth, that's what you want, because when that happens, you can jump off. That's quite a precise section. Oh yeah, this. Go to the very edge, like on the corner, and just walk off, and you'll make it. Okay, so now we're on floor 6. So this is kind of the halfway point. It's also a nice net, which is cool, but the difficulty spikes like hell on floor 6. Just turn in like that. Nope. Like a normal wraparound. Flick or hold space. Just make sure you hold space enough for T-pose at top so you don't get dropped. Don't turn on this or you'll get dropped. Just jump off normally. Just a conveyor. Hold space just in case. And you want to actually make that jump. But yeah, this is all netted. So then from there you can just jump to... Well, what you're meant to do is jump from this one to... Hold on. You jump from this one to like this one. And you can jump out. You can jump across, hit this button. And then you can jump back to this, jump on the conveyor. Get launched. Make sure you're on this stud to jump onto this or it's not going to work. Walk in. And then my alignment for this one is the middle of these 2 studs. So where like the middle part is, I'll like align like this, and then I'll kind of use alignment keys and turn like that. I find that much easier than any other strategy. That you might want to do that climbable. Probably don't shift lock at the end there. Jump in. Make sure you're careful on these, because this is the one part where you can lose your run. Like, that could happen. I don't know what happened there, but that could happen. Yeah, jump out. You can either flick across these or other balls take you. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure you flick off the end. Treat it like a walk around and you'll be fine. Okay, so for this, I like to jump just to make sure I'm at the top of the ball while holding D. And then I kind of switch to A and W. You can kind of look at the keyboard overlay, but that's what I do, and that works for me. For this jump, I don't... Oh, this jump is really hard. You can, like, jump at it like this or from the corner. Whichever one works, basically, is... That's just a jump. 7 is just a really learny floor, especially. For this jump, do like that and turn in. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Jump out. Jump across like this to this one. And this, you need to bottom flick here, but it's indicated, so just line up your feet with the top of the circle, and you can just flick off like that. Turn into this truss, just be careful because the ceiling is there. Jump off. And you can jump from here. I find what works best for me is just going like until I'm past the quarter stud and jumping from the corner. But you can also just do it. It's quite precise, but you can also just like walk onto it like that. But I probably wouldn't recommend that. You can get onto this by just climbing down. And then for this part, you just let it take you, I guess. There's not really any strategy for this part. It's just waiting until the game decides that it wants to let you through. Which is quite annoying for rebeats, but... I mean, not rebeat, just like replaying the floor, but like it's, yeah. Okay, this button, I'm not going to be able to explain everything precisely here because it's timed, but if you watch my keyboard overlay, you should get a general understanding of what I'm doing. It's not that hard, it's just a bit finicky. So this one I just like to walk across like that. Just be careful. My biggest thing is be careful on this part because I've been ragdolled here once. So try not to hold space too much because that can ragdoll you sometimes. Follow this. Those are ouch bricks, obviously, just be careful. And then for this jump is unnetted. So you're landing here and you can either do it in first person like that, which I find easier, or you can kind of like use third person to look exactly where you're jumping. It's basically just which one do you find more comfortable and which one can you land more consistently. Because if you fail this jump, I'll try and fail it now. Oh, I've hit the teleporter. Okay. Can I please not have to do that again? Nice. Okay, so this jump is quite precise. It's basically, if you fail it, you can try to land on 6, but it's not guaranteed. So just be really careful on that jump. But basically, yeah. And then you can jump down, jump off the conveyor, jump to the truss. Also, the music in this tower is mostly really good. I will say that. I really like it, especially floor 10. I think floor 10 is one of my favorite songs. Yeah, so now we're on floor 8. And the thing for floor 8 is that it's entirely outside over an insta-kill. And you lose your run every time if you fall here. So that would be a really funny way to fall. Also, if you do manage to fail that first thing, you can climb up like that. Yeah, just turn in like this. Oh, yeah. This is... Make sure you know this, because it is really hard otherwise to sight read. Turn in like that in first or third person, either one works. You could also do it, like this, but I wouldn't recommend that. Jump down, jump across, and then for these buttons, just jump off of them like that, and you should get it. And then for this, the kill bricks do stop you, so just make sure you jump over them. Long jump this. And the alignment for this truss to jump off is, I believe, if you go down so that your head is under the third stud, you can jump off and always make it. Yeah, okay. That's the kind of alignment for this. Okay, now this jump. So, you don't want to jump too late or you'll fall, and you don't want to jump too early because this will teleport you back to floor 5. It's basically just jumping exactly... That was too late. It's basically jumping exactly where the indication is and you'll make it. Like that. But that is a really lonely jump. Just some trusses. And now if you have this button, so if you manage to make it back, you'll never have to do it outside again, but if you can still die, because, you know, that's an insta-kill. And it's unfortunate, but yeah, you'll have to do the outside again. Turn in. Oh, I should have done that in first person. Yeah, that's probably easier to do in first person. For this jump, you can just let that take you, or you can do it backwards if you want. It doesn't really matter. And now, this is what I was saying earlier about the truss strategy. So hold space here, or just hold space, or just T-pose. You basically want to make it so... Because if you're, like, in the truss and you walk down, you'll get dropped off like that. So, like, I'm like, in the truss now. So if I walk down, and I'm, like, on the edge of that, I'll get dropped off. Like, if I walk down towards the end. So you basically want to hold space, or... Like, you basically want to get to where you need to be. You can either hold space, or T-pose, go down... Do what I did earlier, which still works. And then you can kind of turn in like this if you're over halfway. And same thing with this, just hold space until you get to around the middle of this truss. T-pose if you have it, and then kind of do that. That's kind of the best. Oh yeah, that's also why you don't want to be in it as well, because if you're like in it and then you turn, it'll drop you sometimes, like you saw earlier. But yeah. This part, you can just jump and shift lock. It's not hard, really. It's like, it's just practice. You could also turn in midair, but that's way less consistent for me. Just jump and shift lock. I do have a lineup for this jump because it was getting me a lot in practice. So basically, I look towards the center of floor 1. I align my cursor with the top of the first stud. And then I look towards the center of floor 1. And then if I do that, I make it every time if I turn in. And that's kind of the, like, a lineup I have for it. So top of this stud, and then look towards the center of floor 1. And then you can turn in like that. And that's just a nice alignment that I found so that that jump doesn't feel too luck-based. And yeah, turning in like this, you can do this wrap either way. You can do it like that or like this, doesn't matter. And now this truss, flick down, stop here. And this is where you kind of do need to T-pose, or I think it's either T-pose or if you get down like this, you can like flick out like that so that you're not like in the truss, so you don't get dropped. Jump out, flick in. And that's basically 8 outside done. So you've... Oh, unless you walk off like that, that would be really unfortunate. Yeah, that's basically 8 outside done. You can either do the jump back. Yeah, you can either jump back normally like this, or if you don't trust yourself and you miss the jump, you can just jump down to this part and climb up like that. But yeah, that's floor 8 done, and you'll never have to do floor 8 again, unless you die to 10. That's nice. It's just 3.5 by 2 stick. I don't even know. It's weird. Floor 9 just has some really precise jumps. So it's basically just practicing these so you get it, jump from there. And then you want to turn, just flick around this truss, jump off like that. And then you just want to hold space until you get... I think the exact thing for this is if you start holding space around the middle bottom, you'll make it. Yeah, like that. You can jump off like that. And then for this part, make sure you're at the bottom of the wedge so you don't get, like, bounced up or anything. Turn in. Jump to this side of the truss. Don't go to this side and try to turn in, because this is quite inconsistent. You're going to want to just jump to this side of the truss and just turn in like this. And then you can shift lock up like that, which is what I do, and which is what I think is the easiest way to do it. But you can also, I think you can also do it from this side as well. Or I guess you could... I guess if you really wanted to, and you didn't trust, like, turning in like that, you could do that. But I wouldn't do that. I don't think that would be very consistent. Don't underestimate this jump. I have failed this jump before because I just underestimated how long it was. Like that, and I just missed it. But yeah, I turn in like that, hit the speed, face... You can align if you want, and you can't just line up. And then jump like that. Oh, I jumped. Okay, so that can happen. That's a funny thing that can happen. You can undershoot the jump, hit the teleporter, and run off of 8 outside. So yeah, just jump. Oh, okay. You can do it in first person, I think. If you just jump, and then, like that. Yeah, that's good. That works. And then, for this part, you want to be careful with this, because sometimes if you jump too late, you can clip that. You can clip that teleporter, and it's just kind of like... It's just weird sometimes. You can turn in like this. Shift lock in, jump until you make it, and then basically just turn in. And once you've done that, you've basically only got one hard part of floor 9 left, so congrats, I guess. Either way, you can turn in like this, jump across, and then just jump. And so, I don't know why, but don't align for this, just ghost it and do this, and it's much more consistent. Like... I don't know why that's more consistent than just aligning, but if you just ghost and walk, it's much better. And then you can just turn in like that. Just walk off. You can just walk off here. Jump to this. And you can jump across. Walk down. You ghost this and just shift lock, and you'll make it. And then that's basically floor 10. So yeah, you do this, you go up here, and now you're on 10. So 10 is a button hunt floor followed by an insta-kill. So just be careful. There is an insta-kill above you. Climb down, push A or D so that you don't get dropped while going down the truss. And just flick down into it. The next button is over here. You can hit it like that with your arm. And the next one is... It makes you jump into the insta-kill, which is quite funny, but you can also just cheese it by... climbing like this and just jumping. And wait, I need to, hold on. If you you can climb it, and then if you like tap so that you're doing this, you can jump and hit it. This sends you back, so don't hit this one. You jump over that. Also, what I was saying earlier about the 10 music being one of my favorite songs in the game, yeah. Right, time section, turn in like this. Do that, don't do that like I just did. Turn in like that. It's much easier to turn in like that. Jump across, jump out, grab the truss. Turn in, jump off like that. And then basically just turn, I think it's just turning out like this is what I got to work. There's a lot of ways to do this. You can just turn like that. Grab the truss. And do this. I like to go around to the other side because I find flicking to the right more, like, nice. And that's, like, that button is really tight. You saw, like, I stopped to, like, explain some stuff and I still made it, so... It's not tight, sorry. No, yeah. It's basically just, like, practice it. And now, the final stretch. If you want an exact lineup for this stud, you can align with the middle of these two studs and then turn into it. Push A, or you will get dropped into the insta-kill. Tap S twice, flick down. You can either hold space on this truss or flick around it, whichever one you're comfortable with. And then this is where you definitely want to T-pose or hold space, because you will get dropped if you walk off of that. This ball jump is quite precise, but just follow the curve and you'll make it. You're jumping from here to here, so just make sure you know the jump and turn into it like that. Walk down. I like to do this jump from the 4th stud, so I like to go from this one, and I'll just turn in like that, and I find that consistent. And for this jump, you just want to, like, obviously you can't turn into it because it's a truss, so just hold, like, A until you start climbing. Not hold, just tap, and then go down. Go to, I think a good spot for this is this part. So if you align with the 4th, like, truss top thing, you can just jump off like that and make it. And I will go into the practice place to show you how to do this last jump, because it is quite hard. So I will see you in the micromanagement practice place. Okay, so we're back on micromanagement's final stretch. I'll turn God mode on so that I don't have to get back up at any point. Basically, you turn at the 4th, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Go here, and then jump and shift lock while holding A. And then this jump is quite hard, unfortunately, but basically, the best way to do it, I think, is angle a tiny bit out and just hold W at the last minute. I think that's probably one of the safer ways to do it, like this. Or you can also do it just like a long jump. That also works. It's just holding W at the end, basically. And then you can just hold space around this, you don't need to flick. But yeah, this is an insta-kill, I think. I don't think this is a progress averting brick, but just be careful. Just tap so that your legs don't accidentally walk onto it or something. And then yeah, that's basically everything for micromanagement. So, no win room spoilers, obviously, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, that's basically it for micromanagement. I guess it's quite a lonely tower, but if you can stick with it, I think it is really fun. I mean, it is one of my favorite towers, one of my favorite terrifyings, probably one of my favorite towers generally. But yeah, that's basically it for micromanagement, and I hope you have fun with it. And I will see you in the next video, which will probably be out in the next few days. Bye guys.